Okay, we are live. So, good evening, everybody, from the seat of our pants.
We're here.
Seat of the pants. Um, it's been quite a wild ride. Both Anita and I have been preparing for this time, and we're thrilled to come and speak to you. I see there are people here in the chat. We got Donna T-Pan. I don't know who that is. Hi, Donna. Donna twice. Maribel. Hi, Maribel. Hi, Donna.
Hey, everybody.
We started a little early. First it was late, then it was early. That's just the way the day is going.
Yeah.
So pretty much what we are wanting to do here is, and I really don't like this whiteness of this background. Can I make that larger? How's that? Better. Thank you. I'm gonna go blind.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go blind during the forecast. First of all, I don't have my normal mic because I donated it to Jeremiah, who is our Archangel Michael orator. He's going to be a new orator for our Solar Lord series. So everything here is impromptu. So there's no introduction, summaries, time capsule, nothing, no time. We don't have time. There is no time. There's eternal time. And that's pretty much what we're focusing with. So no more of this, scheduled, timed. This is intuitive. It's creative. I need to rest and relax. So this for me is hangout time. They have been nonstop with me since I came out of the hospital. So I'm just taking a breath.
Your life has changed so dramatically with how your frequency has changed. When your frequency changes, everything around you changes because you're bringing in all of the new stuff at that new frequency. And I mean, look what you've done. It's just this huge, change when you get rid of density and bring in new frequency. I know the past year it's been like that. And, sometimes you change your grouping that you spend time with because that changes as well. Some people, it stays the same and some people don't, and that's normal too.
Yeah. Now let me not hide. I want to see the chat. I can't see the chat. Anyway, you can see it. I'm sorry, guys.
On the side, it says private chat and comments. But the problem is in StreamYard.
Here we go. I'm back in. Okay, sorry. Because it was too light. So, but I want to hope my audience, I have at least a pulse over there. So we were going to start at 8. And then I went and stretched it to 8:15. I couldn't schedule this in advance because the powers that be were like, no, you have to do it the day of. No more planning. No more, let's schedule it for a week out. None of that. It's like, because the timelines, my own personal experience, have accelerated. And I'm in New York. I'm in Bayshore, New York. That's where I am. The timeline,
Long Island, right? Long Island. Long Island.
Broken nail. No, they're not broken yet.
I'm laughing because I was in Connecticut, so I was across the way, across Long Island Sound in Connecticut. Now I'm in Virginia, and I'm in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Virginia.
Oh, and beautiful. And that's like the fantasy island background you got there. What is that?
Yeah, I haven't put up any pictures or anything, so I had this really, really awful bare wall behind me. So I said, well, I'll make it pretty.
I like colors in there. I'm all in those colors. Those are, they got a little bit of green. So those are my colors plus green. It's the heart. Well, at least it's the heart in the third dimension that's not really kind of here anymore. It's slipping away. But up in the higher dimensions, in fact, I went to a doctor's office today, and the color of the gown, of course, was beautiful, rich blue. And they gave me a white kind of cover. And I was thinking Lord Rahal. I've been talking to Raphael. I mean, I actually hung his I was just thinking the Lucanic Ray, which is the Solar Lord series. I'm sorry, we are jumping all over the place because that's just the way it's going right now. We're just chit-chatting. Lord Rahal is better known as Raphael, and we know that with the green healing ray. But in the solar heaven worlds, it's a blue and white speckled ray.
And that's because the frequencies jump up a little bit, and so that the colors change. Like our heart chakras are going to be moving up from green into a blue. So everything kind of just shifts up a little bit with color.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we said we were going to talk tonight about the Protectorate, which I can't seem to get it off of here. So they want it there. It's not coming off because they're not letting me do that. Everything is intuitive tonight. They want black. Oh, by the way, for you people that are afraid of black, no fear. Okay, first of all, black is beautiful in New York. Okay, we love black, and it's sort of a uniform color. And what it does is it grounds us. So as above, so below. So gold is above, black is below. Like the black fertile hills of, I was talking to Jeremiah. It was like out in the Midwest.
Mm.
You don't look at it like light colored sandy soil. You're looking at that deep, dark, rich soil. It's nurturing, it's grounding, it cools you. Look at all the black crystals we have, right? Black opal, black tourmaline, black onyx. They're not evil. The only thing that's evil is when we think evil. Look at you.
It's all
You know,
about, it's all intention, your focus. I mean, fear is going to bring it all in, right?
yeah, and cutting loose of fear, I had to do quite a bit of it. I mean, look, we keep joking about I dropped an organ, right? So poor gallbladder got left at the hospital. But that was 60 years of density in New York, okay, which is black goo, like on a level that you can't even imagine. So I mean, my body, and especially in this last 21 years, but I adore my son. Okay, but it's been such a challenge since daughter's doing a great job overseas. She's on the other side. They make jokes all the time. Okay, listen, Archangel Michael was there. Anita's very tuned in, and I feel it. And I've had a lot of activations over the last 2 weeks. How many activations do you have any? Like it's like we lost count. It's like we took off.
But it seems like the world has. I mean, I'm seeing it in my family.
Okay.
I'm seeing it with lots of people. Like things are really ramping up energetically, and you worked hard on it. So when you work on it, it's going to do even more because you're pulling in, you're working, you're letting stuff go, you're bringing in the light, you're updating your DNA, you're turning things on, you're getting memories that come in when you start turning on your DNA. All of a sudden, you start getting memories. You start doing more of the soul integration. So everything ramps up. Oh, and your body starts changing, right? Yeah, in terms
How
of
much
the
weight? I
perceived
think
body.
it's 50 pounds since 2020 for me. I think it's another 20 coming off from now to get me to a weight I've like never occupied except when I was going through it upward. Because my happy weight, I'm at a healthy weight for my age right now, which is probably about 20 pounds more than you're supposed to be at maybe 33. At 33, I should be 20 pounds lighter than I am now. So no, I'm not sharing my weight with you just yet. Only like when it
But
stops going down, then it's
I
gonna
mean,
hit
is there,
the equilibrium. Done. My body wants to be at this weight, healthy weight.
but
So
that's part of literally dropping density. You're dropping weight.
yeah, and
Because
organs.
organs, it's not a joke, but people are going to find that they do have issues with that because it's all of a sudden you're releasing so much energy into your body, or your body over the years has taken such a beating with
Sorry.
certain organs that all of a sudden you're losing your gallbladder or your appendix or, something to that event. It's really funny because you go through these, oh my goodness, there she is,
Have to
Coco.
meet Coco because she's such a part of this, and I'm kind of speed healing my dog too. Although
No.
she can never get into the like cutest, most adorable. They look so pudgy when you squish them together, but she's my rock. I mean, but very soft, but a rock. She's squishy, a squish rock. She really is my beautiful baby, and so all the healings like Anita was just talking about are going on with us too.
Yeah.
And so our animals are going to heal along with us. Becky, hello. And Maribel and I, oh, so did we not tell, we didn't tell the story about Maribel and I. Before we get right into the
I don't know
Protectorate,
if you did. Yeah.
we're going to get into the Protectorate in about whenever.
Oh my
Few
gosh.
minutes.
Donna just dropped her appendix 2 weeks ago. I mean,
Oh,
I'm telling
she
you.
dropped it right. And then
Yeah.
I'm making jokes
Oh,
about
yeah.
gallbladders. And
Yeah.
she's going, what's so
Bladder,
funny?
appendix. Yeah.
She dropped
Your
her
body,
appendix. Hold on. Just one less to
because
go.
those parts of your body just hold different energies. Like your gallbladder holds your gall, so that's your bitterness, your resentment, anger, fear, all that. And over time, of being in dis-ease, that organ will just stop working. And now things are accelerating. The timelines are accelerating so much that our bodies are going into high gear. And if you're consciously working on ascension, your body's in like super high gear. So then your body sometimes goes, in order to do this, I'm going to drop a gallbladder. And you do. and then like it changes, because all of a sudden all this density and all the stuff that you were holding toxicity is out of your body, and then you're feeling so much better.
But the pain and also the resistance that we have to clearing our density, because Anita, we talk about density quite a bit in the Protectorate channelings, which now we're going to organic voiceovers. All right. So I first began in my career with YouTube in August with Ishmael, and he's coming back, and it's going to be the date I said, which is Good Friday. Okay. I haven't had a moment to go back and say, oh, wait, that's a very important date that week. That's Ascension weekend. Okay. So he granted us an interview after 6 months of trying. It wasn't working because they were in charge, and they were like, no, you're not ready yet. Now you're ready. And so he granted us, and Anita's going to be on here with us. So it won't be. And the nasty comments that he attracts, you're going to not come in. I feel like, no, we're past all of that. The people that are watching Ishmael are like on the express bus to enlightenment or Andromeda or wherever it is that we're going, over the Crystal Bridge, Anita, to Andromeda. So the colors are behind her of what this place is going to look like. I'm feeling that intuitively. That is like the scene, one of them, one of many. No, I've lost my train of thought, but no big deal.
You're talking about the Crystal Bridge and the colors behind me, and we're talking about bringing all that energy in.
Oh,
Sorry to interrupt you.
I'm glad you did. No, please feel free, because we're going to just kind of improv here. So I think we chit-chatted enough here, and we want to get into the meaning of the Protectorate. And I'm just going to let Anita do what she does, because she's brilliant, and let you at least begin. I love you. She's my sister. She's my sister. And Maribel, I was just going to complete this about Maribel. Maribel contacted me right just as we had the first live, New Year's Eve, the pre-New Year's Eve live, and it was a Friday night, and she contacted me by Facebook, and well, oh my goodness, is she ever a part of what's going on here? And we grew up in Manhattan. We met in fourth grade, which is the end of the first cycle, 1 through 9. We met at the age of 9. We completed our second cycle together. We parted ways at probably around 18. And she called me. She reached out to me on Facebook, and then we had like one of those 2.5-hour conversations that like Anita and I had like 4.5 hours. It's some crazy number. And when I connect with people, it's like, can we just the whole life? You have to say what happened about whole life. So Maribel and I, took on Manhattan together, and we lived through that density. So, we did it in our way. And I love you, my dear. I love you. I love you. I love you. And everything I've been going through is equipping me to deal with you, because of the massive size of at least not your body, but your power. So we came in together to, make a statement to that kind of whatever people like to think about the way it was in New York City. We were in Chelsea. It was not easy there, and we both went through a lot. And then we both left. It was like, see ya, we're out of here, and now we're reunited. And so you know what's coming. Good stuff. For people like that to be getting back together now, better than ever, you better believe good times are coming. So, with that, I want to introduce Anita to explain what her experience is with the Protectorate, and then we'll go from there. And they're all here.
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, I wound up having one of the Protectorate Council of Light. I often open up my heart space to bring in individuals from my highest and best self who want to come in and talk to me, or, I kind of open up. It's kind of like an open forum. All right, who's going to come talk to me today? Who's going to be there? And I had this seventh dimensional being come in, and he was one of the lion guardians. He looks more like the lion. And he was talking to me about the Protectorate. And I invited him in. And it wound up that the Protectorate, the actual council of the Protectorate, are made up of light beings from the 10th through the 12th dimension, which means that they don't have a body. They are light beings. And they told me that there's sort of this umbrella Protectorate Council of Light that is an umbrella for all of the guardian groups. And they report directly to Lord Josias and Lord Macaw. So they work directly under Archangel Michael and Jesus. And the other Protectorate groups work through the Protectorate Council of Light. They are universal guardians. And that means that they uphold universal law, and they aid in the ascension process. And our little corner of the universe has had universal law that has not been upheld. It has been subverted. And this area was given time to kind of go through the process and hopefully make different choices to start to change things for the better, sort of upholding universal law. Didn't happen. So their divine intervention came through, in which this is why we're having so many energies coming. This is why so many of the Protectorate groups have sent their people through us to incarnate on our planet to help with the process of ascension, because literally our ascension has been, you could say, like hijacked. It has been held in a loop.
Tampered with.
Yeah, exactly. And so they came to me because I opened myself up to be a channel to them and to give more information. They were happy with my frequency. They were happy to be able to come into my heart space, because that's how I work. I invite everything I channel through my heart space. And so I found out that channeling through my heart space allows me to meet them at that heart space frequency, which is why if you channel through other chakras, it's a little bit harder to blend the energies. And so when I channel through the heart space, I'm able to blend a little bit better and connect my frequency with this group. They're beautiful. They come in, they make this sort of rainbow circle in the middle of my heart space. There's 12 of them at a time. There's a lot more of them, but 12 at a time come. But you don't really feel them as individuals. They're a collective. And it's really interesting to feel them all there having a big presence, and yet they speak and think with one voice. And so it's a beautiful experience to be part of that. And I feel blessed to be able to bring their messages to those who are ready to hear it, or for whom it resonates. If it doesn't resonate, that's okay. Then another message is meant for you. But they're here to give us help, and they really wanted to make a connection with their guardians, because many of us who resonate with this message, it's because we are of the guardian group. we are working as guardians to uphold universal law and to assist with ascension. And so many of the guardian groups have bodies. It's not the upper levels of council are often those who are light beings who don't have bodies. And the reason being is they've ascended past a body, but everybody's still working on ascension. So everything they're doing is to help us and work with us is mutual. Them helping us helps them. Again, so above, below, above, the same, we're all one. So when we get help, when we ask for help, we're also helping as well. And their ascension process, because they're learning to love more, they're learning to have greater compassion, and working with us helps them with what they're doing in terms of their ascension process. So it's a beautiful system to be part of it. Not so necessarily when you think, sometimes we get stuck in that 3D situation and we get, stuck in those 3D lower densities. And it, when you start sort of pulling yourself above and having more of a higher self look at things, or you can bring yourself up to that neutral observer and look at what's going on in your life, what's going on. It makes it a little bit easier. But these messages are meant to strike a chord with the guardians. If you look, there aren't really a lot of messages out there that specifically target those who have the guardian mission. And so this is really to help those that really feel like they are part of a protectorate, part of the guardians.
Universal law. They're upholding universal law. They're guardians of integrity, of compliance. I mean, the most hysterical thing is that when I had my 3D, and I still do 3D stuff.
They don't want to guard compliance. They want to guard sovereignty.
Well, of course. But when you violate universal law, it's a violation of all the above, including sovereignty. Oops, we are overstepping. Oh, oops, we tricked you into thinking that you said no, but you actually said yes. A lot of that duplicity, sleight of hand, dishonesty. I mean, it comes in all different shapes and sizes. And then it's like a slippery slope. And then they do it over a long period of time so that we don't notice. And they've done this, and a lot of people know this now. Over the last 5 years, a lot has been revealed. But like humanity does, and I've witnessed this just through my own training process here, we tend to get too obsessed with, looking at the tree stumps and, the tree has sap mixed in the bugs, and we're not looking at the beauty of the forest. Or, we get completely distracted with minutia that's unimportant because we're in our mind. This is a construct. It's an ego. Like it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to survive in this dimension, having survival instinct. But the belly barometer, the intuition is really frowned upon by, if you noticed, what's been. It's not what's going to be or what is. Okay, because all that is always ever has been eternal.
And it's always about going within. That's where you get the true knowledge, the answers. Yeah.
So there's a lot of simplicity, but it's profoundly difficult. It's like concrete shoes. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go through this now. The last month of my life, I experienced every fear on every level, visceral fear, where God was actually driving my vehicle and put me in a place where I was able to land softly, walk in, and get some support from people that I love and I know. And they saw me in a condition they've never seen me in. And they've known me 14 years. Never seen me in this position. And I was terrified. But at the same time, I knew that I was at the end of the journey with a particular phase of my lifetime. And in that terror, and I think it was the early part of February, I realized I could see the end of the tunnel. The doors weren't open yet, though. See, it's like a video game, up another level. The faster you process or get a correct answer or whatever, they start giving you these little coins and different things. by the way, my son is playing Hogwarts Legacy. He's 21 years old, studying to be a doctor. He works in a hospital. And it was like the other day, I'm cleaning the kitchen, getting stuff ready, and he's like, I'm looking at the thing going, oh my goodness. It's like what we're going through right now, but the different generations, the spirit world works with all of us in certain ways that we can understand individually. A rainbow might mean one thing to one. I mean, it's universal, but it might remind one person of a unicorn. It might remind one person of, a symbol that they've been using lately for some kind of a group of people, which we're all one. So that's division. It's a division. It's a division. We're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We're going to be unity. This is March. The number 3 has been ringing, literally ringing. So unity. We've been in duality, number 2. February was a horror month for me, but it was a repeat, like the end of my life sort of thing. So 3 is unity, 4 is foundation. New life. It really is build a new world.
And that's part of what you saw with working with density, working with fear, is that you also have to send love out there to it. You don't just banish it. You don't just say, well, I see it, now I'm just going to let it go. You actually love it, because the darkness is what allows us to see the light. And so it's doing a service to us. All our density has helped us through difficult times to hold us in certain places. Now we can let it go because we don't need it anymore. We want to move forward. And so we can do that. And what I think one of the biggest Protectorate messages that they've given so far is the amount of help that's available, that you are not alone. Because a lot of people feel alone. They feel like, I've gone down so many rabbit holes. Nobody else is going down these rabbit holes. Nobody's seeing what I'm seeing. In my life, I feel like I'm kind of the only one that's working toward 5D or even care anything about it. And just know that you're not alone. There's number one, if you're connected in with your spiritual journey, then hopefully you're going to realize that you've never been separated from source, from God, whatever that divine connection is for you. It's always been there. It's just a matter of finding it again, or seeing it, or making it stronger. So you're never alone. And then you realize, once you get rid of this density, that you can start having relationships with people that aren't need-based. Because need means I'm going to have an attachment to you. You're going to save an energy for me. You're going to want something. I need you. We're going to get to the point where we can have relationships that there is not an attachment. It's just, I have a relationship with you because we're going to blend energy. We're going to exchange, ideas. We're going to have this connection, but it's not about need. And so when you get to a point where you realize that the best currency there is the currency of energy, not need, not fear, that your relationships are based on love, respect, integrity, authenticity, it changes. It's dramatically changed. Not ego. The ego's not involved. It's huge. That's where we're going. And that's kind of what people are working toward with releasing density. That's how it's going to start looking in your life, is that you're going to start to be able to have relationships with someone based on integrity and beauty and love. And the need-based relationships will either shift and change out of that, or they'll dissolve and disappear, and they just won't be part of one's life anymore. And that, it feels pretty good. It feels pretty good to start to get to that point when you start seeing it. And you've been dissolving those kinds of relationship in your life. That's part of sort of you're on ascension speed right now.
Listen, it's New York minute, right? We said no, it's New York nanosecond now. It's not even New York minute. It's like, oh my gosh. And it's the game. It's playing that game, like up another level. My son actually had a black shirt with the white, up another level, up another, like from forever ago.
And you're like, that's it.
That's exactly. And then he's playing the games last night, Hogwarts, and then the night before that, I'm sitting in the kitchen and the Hunger Games, the last half or the last segment of like I don't even watch TV anymore, but I was like, every time I'm in front of that, there's some kind of profound message. So it's Mockingjay, and it's like she does this beautiful performance in the street, like great acting, but it was acting. She was working for the powers that be, and then it sort of stirred up like a great drama moment, and then they shot her, but really she wasn't dead. And then she had to go. I think because I'd seen it before, she goes through her own like, gee, I really shouldn't have faked it like that, you know. That's a no. That's a
Not being
you're
not being authentic.
you're gonna wind up you know, suffering through that. And they say in some circles I run with, suffer well, because when you make a tragic mistake, you will, by universal law, be instructed to know what that feels like from the other side of it. So the authorities, the cosmic cops, that's what the protectorate is. It's universal law. They uphold the guardians, universal guardians. I mean, we can get into the minutia, which is what humanity does. It's like, well, no, it's this, no, it's that. No, like, stop. It is what it is. Okay. Look at the way it's operating. So to get to the messages now, right? I listened to myself to all the recordings of all of the videos from the first all the way to 5B. Now I have part 6. She gave me last week. It's called The Veil. Because my life has been, now it's finally settling down where I can actually put some studio time together and like maybe spend 3 or 4 or 5, 10 days. I don't know. They're not going to give me 10 days, but enough time, right? It's at my leisure to create. See, I can go New York minute or nanosecond, but
Mm-hmm.
when I'm designing or creating, I like to be slow so I can allow the energies to flow within me. And that's where I slow down. So we're talking about time manipulation here, which literally I'm like asking for help. I need some pointers on this, that, and the other thing, because I am at the point where I can start to manipulate time. I'm right there.
And when you get to a certain frequency, when you've allowed yourself the time to work on getting enough density out and enough programming, 3D programming out of you, and enough light in and enough information and enough DNA turned on, you can start to be able to actually focus on time. So if you're in a 3D situation, you can speed it up so you can get through it quicker, like your job. You can make it fast. And then
Or
when
you
you get
live the environment.
yeah, right. And then when you get home, you can slow things down so that you can enjoy the time and have it slow down. So yeah, you absolutely can. And you can jump timelines too. And a lot of that is just with your intention because we're
And
constantly doing it unaware.
unaware, right? See, I
Yep.
used to get confused. What do you mean you're jumping timelines? What are you jumping from one stream to another? Well,
Yes.
yeah. 'Cause
Hmm.
the minute you make a decision, you change the currency, the current of the dynamics. It sort of shifts. So I'm literally, you start to surf in this
If you look at
electromagnetic
it, I often see it
in
as like yeah, it's like almost like a braided cord, and you have all of these lines, and they're all running at the same time. And they have these lines of events that are going on in each one, and you're jumping. Depending on what decision you make, what choice you make, what your intention is, will put you on that event on
right,
whatever timeline is really where your intention is. So
your
if you're
heart.
coming
So
from heart-centered intention, then you're going to be in a higher timeline. If you're coming from an ego, maybe power center, which would be solar plexus, or your, sexual center, or your, lower or survival with the root, that'll shift your intention and that'll
mhm,
put you on a lower frequency timeline because
mhm.
and then you think, well, does that mean that these timelines are necessarily higher? Yes and no. And that's what's interesting because your heart is the bridge between the higher and the lower dimensions,
Mhm.
but the heart is the it's the
Equilibrium. It's the
center.
equilibrium. It really is the you know, here's the as above, and then here's the so below. Well, that's like intersection. where it's the horizontal plane.
Mm-hmm.
It's 0 point. They say 0 point. It's literally 0 degrees if you're looking at a fulcrum or a seesaw, right? So you got the little triangle, right? And when it's at 0 degrees, it's right at plane level, plane.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go back and forth, and you're out of whack, right? But to be that master, right? Because it's a dynamic to universal cosmology. If you listen to Ishmael, which is why I probably couldn't stop watching him for like many videos, until I got it, and then I mentalized everything, because that's my process, right? And I couldn't even spit the words out during the interview. But it's a dynamic. Like, look, think of an atom, right? We got a little sun, and then we got the protons, and we got the neutrons and the electrons. We know what that looks like. And then you got it in the microcosm, and then you got it solar system, and then you've got it like galactic and constellation and beyond, all the way up to source level, which
Mm-hmm.
is 15 and beyond. It's infinite. But the cycles, and I'm not talking about time cycles, because in the lower densities, things slow down and you get into this construct here. But fifth and above, there is no time. It's different. We are still like we are, but we don't have to be rush here, rush there, rush here. You sort of like, they say, Anita told me, at your leisure. It means slow the time down or speed it up, and just sort of like proceed in the sequence that you want at your leisure, so that you can live fast, live slow, turtle, rabbit, whatever it is you can do, and relax into it, because there's no rush.
It's
There's
also,
no
and it's a complete understanding of one's sovereignty and one's free will, because I'm not pushing and I'm not expecting. It's at your leisure.
It is.
And if
It is.
everything's happening, it will happen when it needs to happen. And it's not about, see, we're used to the planning and the scheduling and the time constraints, because that's 3D.
Right. And some of the applications that are out there are actually named, having to do with time rather than you.
Yes.
What
Mm,
about you? Do we care about you? Yes, we do. I do. Anita does.
I do.
And when I get into my 0 point, I make videos. I enjoy that, and it's a communication. It's an art form, and you can teach with video. And everybody loves videos these days. Back when we were in school, it used to be read this book, take this test, pass it, do the da da da. That's a lot of anxiety, etc. So like, we let go of all of that and start to do the creative stuff. We write novels, we paint, we strum guitars, you know, we make music. I come from a family of musicians, and one of my gifts is I hear music, and they give me messages. And so now Anita gives me songs too, because my family, when I'm like stuck with fear, which I was a few weeks ago, I was literally provided with everything I needed, and I began to relax because I knew support was there. Because my family, all of us that have been here on mission, on Guardian mission, we have suffered. We chose it. We signed up for it. Yes, sir, Commander. Or no, Commander, Admiral. We're not talking at nobody's commanding. It's like, what would you like to do? You sign up. How do you want to do it, and when? Do it. But we took a lot on the chin for humanity. In my family, time after time after time. So that was my mission through my lineage. You guys all have different energies. You're here to shut it down now. All the karmic, we are the end of the line. Like for the train, it comes to a complete stop now, and a whole new thing begins. So the cycles, I kind of got way far off of that. So you think of the electron, or the atomic structure, and then you can think of it, cosmically, but it's cycles. It's from the microcosms. You zoom in and you get a little bit of detail, and then when you zoom out, you can see it also in a structure. And there's a universal law and order. You hear what's his name talking about laws and orders, and I love the kid. I love him. He's a sweetheart. But on a cosmic level, that's law and order. And before Anita and I ever met, I mean, I was putting books together, binders of universal law over here. I mean, being an architect, that's just one of the things that I do. Believe me, I do a lot of different things. And it was building codes and zoning law. That was my 3D career. I mean, I'm an artist, right? But I couldn't do it in 3D. I couldn't get a job doing it. Oh, we don't want to pay you. Why don't you come and work? Well, do this atelier, for no money. And I'm a star, so you're meaningless. Come and work in my studio and learn from me. Well, that's such ego. Ugh, I wasn't going to do that. You want my time? You got to pay me because I got to live in a 3D world. But artists, now I'm an artist. I'm an energy healer. I'm this, I'm a that. I'm whatever I am. But you put it all together. And I made a statement to myself this morning because there's a new thing coming into my life beginning on Monday. And it forced me because my family brought it to me and they were like, okay, here, just describe now these 5 questions, answer them. And I answered them in a 5D plus way rather than a 3D way. And I'm actually blessed with the opportunities that the building 60 years of my life for are coming to me now. So you all here on this channel are watching and learning these videos. Anita is such a blessing because she is channeling from the Protectorate directly. This is unique material. I'm an artist. I have my talents, but I don't do channel. Like I do, but not like she
I'll
does.
do. And as we get,
we all do it.
Yeah, we all do.
We all do
But
it.
the Protectorate
So
has been interesting coming through because it's been such a strong message.
right.
And they go ahead. What?
I'm sorry. I just want to get back onto that. The first couple of videos have the AI voice on it. I didn't have a choice. Everybody wants videos. They don't want to read. They want to hear. So then you got to go get a canned voice because where are you going to get? So then I got a microphone. And now we're doing it. We're really doing some
voice. Yeah,
activation. Your voice, my voice. Connor is going to come in, our buddy Connor, who's a dear, and I met him. He came on this channel back when the Ahura King Arthur series was narrated. I wound up putting an AI in there temporarily as a placeholder for an organic voice, but obviously we want to do organic voices because sound activations are happening. Connor has qualified for that role uniquely, so to bring King Arthur to us. And activations coming through that material. Some of us will be drawn to that. Others are drawn to the Protectorate. Jeremiah, I met him in person through another spiritual organization. Powerful, powerful man. Powerful voice. Such metallic energy. He's so beautifully. And these are not narrative. These are orations. They're not narrations. They're orations. He made that very clear to me. And they're stepping into the energies of the channeled material from the Winds of Truth, which is Archangel Michael, and Lord Ahura, both together. Lord Michael. I should say ha. Michael with the ha, because there's a whole energy along with that, But they called it Michael in the she hears it Michael. I hear it Michael. We see it Michael in these Winds of Truth, but we know him as Archangel Michael just affectionately because that's our thing, right? So none of this is dark. Don't let anyone tell you this stuff is dark. It's as dark as you want it to be, but it's not dark at all. This is light work. This is what light work is. It's light warrior. It's light work. It's beauty. Yes. You don't need duality. We can have rainbows and unicorns behind and Anita Marie over there, right? Anita Marie. We have a real name here, by the way. That's my maiden name. That is my given name, and I'm keeping it. The other one is going to be falling away soon. So I just stepped back into my
And
original identity myself.
with the Kuan Yin energy of the Protectorate brought in, Kuan Yin to as a connector to talk about compassion, because she is the sort of the goddess of compassion, or the connection of compassion for the mother energies that come through. And that's why I went back to using my first name, which is actually Anita Marie, as it's spelled, because people were messing up my name. So I just got tired of it, and I just dropped the Marie. And now all these Mary energies are coming through the Protectorate and through me when I'm channeling. So they were kind of like, why don't you, names are frequency. So they had me put my, go
Original.
back to my
And
original,
you and
my
both
original.
of us, both of
Yeah.
us, these are
Right.
given names and our surnames by our
Yeah.
lineage,
Yeah.
representing,
Yeah.
what energy we're bringing into the world. We're anchoring in. We are coming from above. In our case, okay, not
And
everybody
that's
does.
And that's huge, because the anchoring of energies, that's the work that we're doing. It's part of the biggest thing that we can do as the guardian energies, is to anchor in the higher energies to the people around us, because we're affecting them by just satellites around us. But we're also bringing that energy in and anchoring it into our planet. And we're also anchoring it into the collective. And the more work we do personally on ourselves means that the energies that are coming through us become intensified. So all the work we're doing for ourselves that personally help us exponentially help our planet and help the collective. And there's a whole huge networking of help out there that's available to us. And the biggest message that the Protectorate is offered us is, we want to help you. We're here, but you have to call us in because of the whole free will issue. And so once you start to do that and think in terms of, I'm not alone, there's nothing I'm doing that I ever have to do that's alone. I can call in the lion protectors if I need to. I can call in the earth signs. I can call in whatever element of the protectorate I want. I can call in the archangels. I can call in whatever energies I feel I need. They'll be there. They want to be there. They ask to be there. They're on tenterhooks waiting to come in to help, because our part of the universe, we're kind of like here. Everybody else is ready to ascend, and we're kind of like holding the weight down. So we kind of got to lift our little corner of the universe up. And that's part of what our ascension process is that we're doing. And so when we do that, our whole universe, our solar system, and then the galaxies, and then the whole universe are going to actually move up an octave in frequency with ascension. So it's a really important role.
New York happens to have concrete shoes. We all know about that reputation,
Yeah.
but it literally is so dense. But even that's starting to fall away, So I feel personally, in watching all of the videos for the Protectorate this morning, I just reviewed everything, because I'm going to start. I said this like after I came out of the hospital, and then like all this other stuff started to happen, as if that wasn't enough of a interruption. They gave us a beautiful message called the veil, which is where the rainbows are going to be. I have images already for that. So rainbows are going to start with the veil. And then Anita has another. But before we move on to that, I want
No,
to
I
say
don't.
something.
The veil's the last one. I'm going to be bringing in another one, probably. I just
Oh,
did
I was
bring it
hanging out, waiting.
in.
Okay.
It's
So
waiting.
when I was reviewing them this morning in preparation for this tonight, my feeling was, first of all, organic voices there are not going to be any more AI voices for me on this channel. I'm not doing it anymore. I have these two beautiful, rich, Connor is so much the King Arthur energy, which is the loving divine masculine, the one that sends you roses and flowers and just puts you on a pedestal and makes you feel like you're the most special person in the world. And then there's the other one, that Metallic energy, which is what, you know, um, you want protecting you, and you kind of want that guy if somebody's like coming up to you to like hurt you or harm you or do bad things.
You need to stand in
Kind
your
of want
truth, and you need
Michael
somebody
around,
that's your back.
not that,
Yeah.
not that King Arthur's gonna, King Arthur. He's not gonna stand by and watch somebody, hurt a woman. But in the material, he's such a beautiful, loving energy. And I love Michael. He's my guy. I love Michael. He's been with me a long time. I'm much more of the warrior, sort of a person. Not war like make war. It's more like stand up for what's right. Anita had gotten that. She helped me out with something, and the message for me was divine truth and divine justice. And I actually put the divine justice photo up on the community board in our YouTube,
Mm.
which was a stunning picture. And I've always had it with me. I had it. It was the very first avatar I used on Pinterest. And I put Light Warrior with the divine justice sword. And it's like reaching up into the clouds and stirring the clouds up, with all kinds of energy. So, that's my thing. But everybody's got their own like connection to their ascension team, their dynasties. You want to talk about the word dynasty? They're spiritual dynastic lineages that go back to the beginning of time. Not
And that's
time.
our soul groupings that do
Wow.
that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
eternity. Then
Hmm.
they cycle through and they cycle through, and the creation it's a cycle. It's not time, but it is cyclonic energy. So it's an electromagnetic, cyclonic, dynamic, if you will. And it's circuit based. And it's, I'm an architect, and that's what I do. That's my family. That's what we do. So we do it on cosmic level stuff. I knew because I had my own awakenings, 2010, 2012. Then I lost daughter Angelique in this world. She just made a transition. I mean, I'm literally in touch with her. Anita has an Angelique coming to me all the time. Not that I need it so much anymore, but it's nice to have somebody work with you instead of getting labeled, locked up, and medicated because you have more senses than maybe other people do. That's not a really nice place to be, and it's happened to me twice. It's third dimensional. So we took it on the chin for humanity a few times, many, 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 many times, many times. So, where should we go from here, Anita? Do you have anything that you want to share? I'm kind of going to go through the design process on the veil. I don't know how much I want to reveal right now about what that's about, except rainbows.
Rainbows. Yeah. Buffy
Rainbows.
asked a question. She said, do we address them as the Protectorate? She goes, I usually ask for Archangel Michael. It's whatever you want. You can pull in whatever energies that you want. You can ask for, just ask for help. You can just ask, you can talk
One word prayer.
you
The
can
one
talk
word prayer. Help!
directly to source, or God or the divine, specific archangels, or just call in, say, you can just call in a bevy of energies and just say, whatever energies to my highest is best good, I call you in to help, to be here, to help me through this. And then, you can call in whomever. But you're going to resonate with different things too. I mean, sometimes you might resonate more with Archangel Michael, sometimes more with Mother Mary or Mary Magdalene, or just Lord Josias, or maybe you're working with like Lord Raphael. But yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about too was on this story, and I want to tell a story about the blue sword. So one of the things we had talked about with the Protectorate was this idea of gold armor, gold sword, blue sword, light sword. So I had started my journey, oh gosh, like earlier than 25 years ago, more like 30. And I was questioning things. I had a friend, I was doing my master's work before I went into teaching. And he was into, he had he was going to study to be a priest, wound up leaving that. Then he was looking for all different things. At the current time, he was looking at was not Buddhism at that point. No, it was Hinduism. So we were doing like stuff. There was a Hindu group. We were kind of connected in with them, and I was eating a lot of like really cool Indian food, and we were going in like they were like from India, like we were hanging with them. And there was this woman who was like a guru, and you could call in and ask questions. So I asked her because I always felt like, why do I have a blue sword? I know I had this blue sword. I didn't know what it stood for. I didn't know what it meant. And she couldn't tell me. And I said, it was always with my throat. So truth, justice, right? The blue sword of truth and justice. And now I know what this blue sword is. And I've been holding this for 30 years and didn't know like what kind of like, what's this reason why I have this image of me sort of being in armor, having this blue sword. And that's where it comes from. And so it was kind of really nice to have that confirmation and then to be able to offer that, because it's probably why a lot of people connect in with maybe the medieval, with King Arthur and all that, not just the King Arthur message or that, or Camelot maybe being there, but because of that guardians, like, you know, you wore armor, you know, that you like had a sword, you know, these things, but yet you don't know how to articulate it. It's just this feeling, this resonance. And it's part of the Protectorate mission, I think, is to feel that connection to that. And so calling in these energies is really super important to be, you know, there to help all of us. And they also want us to work on ourselves. You know,
very much so. This is a personal journey. I attest to that, boy. Oh my goodness.
And it's about working on your body. It's not just what you just think your energy system or whatever, you know, you're doing in terms of density. It's vitally connected to your body. Your body is part of the ascension process. And sometimes people forget that, or they separate the two. Like my body, I separate differently than the spiritual work that I'm doing. They're blended, they're connected, because every cell in your body is connected to source. And every cell in your body is alive because of source. And so once you start being able to see that and do that and make that connection and see inside your body and connect inside, then the spirituality just really starts hitting the roof, because all of a sudden all these things start happening. Your frequency raises up, you're getting rid of density, you're getting memories, you're turning on your DNA, you're holding more of a light quotient within your body itself, and everything kind of explodes in your life for a good way usually. But it's a little bit nutty, isn't it? You feel a little bit like you're on a carousel going really fast, or like traveling through a wormhole really fast. So
Christopher has an interesting question. Please describe what the indigo or violet blade that I see myself having is. Are you able to energetically? Oh.
So if I got the blue, my focus here is truth and justice because of the blue. Yours, Christopher, is the focus on the seventh ray, which is the violet ray, which is transmutation, like Saint Germain's violet ray and amethyst and
And our
ahura.
solar plane is amethyst, and that's another one of my situations with, you know.
Right. So you're looking at transformation. You're looking also at third eye energies and the interdimensionality at the third eye level. So that's I guess we would call it the sword of the seventh ray.
Interesting. Because they have twin swords, Michael and Michal and Ahura. They have the twins. They have the Escabura is King Arthur or Ahura. And then I don't know the name of Michael's sword. Maybe the Protectorate will reveal that somewhere along the way. You know, or Michael, I should ask him. I've kind of conversations with him. Boy, oh boy. You know, you getting anything?
Let me see. Okay. I'm checking it. Yeah, talk. Let me see if I get something.
I'll keep talking. So I'm gonna go back up here. Sorry, guys. Look, even nothing is going right with communications. We're lucky that they let us have tonight with you. They wanted us to catch up, and so we're coming up on 1 hour here. So we're gonna do some questions, and we won't hold you. I thought I might go to 10, but unless Anita winds up with the channel here going, we don't know yet. But I am feeling kind of tired. I've had a crazy bunch of time, so I was kind of looking to cut it off in a half hour. So let's see what we can get for questions. Ask away. I'm going to go back, roll up, and usually I like to display them, but for some reason none of this is coming together for me tonight. So there's always a reason why that sort of thing happens. So I'm just going to flow with it.
I just want to ask Christopher, did that seem to resonate with you, Christopher? What we talked about with the sword, or not so much? I'm just curious to see what he thinks.
Let's see what he says. Okay, so let's see. Faith. Oh yeah, he said faith. Oops, no about faith. Faith is power. The Phacnic ray. Power and rulership is Michalik, the 12th solar plane. Yeah, I guess he's a Michalik, energy. I'm very close to that energy myself. And faith for sure.
We all are for sure. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. So then someone, well, guys, if you don't have any questions, we can just end the broadcast. I'll give you a couple of minutes to think or feel into what you've heard. Let's talk back about the topic. So my favorite so far, not favorite, the most important, compassion. That video, if you only have like 15 minutes, and these are longer than like 3-minute soundbite videos, okay, or 30 seconds of this, sometimes you'll see me put up on, because I also had a TikTok, I still have it. I will still try to reach out to people over there to advertise to come back, but this is the channel. This is where the meat and potatoes are of the spiritual messages. So, you got to focus. You guys are here. This isn't really for you. It's for the ones that come in later to go, well, who wants to sit down and watch a 15-minute video? Really? At least you're watching a video. Back when we were growing up, we weren't watching videos. We were writing. We were reading and writing, writing, arithmetic, and all the rest of it, and having fun. So it's considerably speeded up to this point where it's like, but nobody takes the time to see how we really feel. And that's exactly what this love and light catchphrase sort of talking came up with my introduction to YouTube. And then when you say that someone's kind of not nice to you, you're going to give them love and light. Well, that's kind of using it in a hateful way. That's not what it's supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean, really, don't use it as a catchphrase when you're angry. Love and light, see ya. No, it's intention. Create what you want. If you're not feeling well about someone, then say, just be bless it and say, okay, nice to meet you and have a nice life, or whatever, spirit in a spiritual way. Like, I honor your feeling, and but I'm going to go this way now. You can have your feelings, and I'm going to go this way now because I don't really resonate with that. I'm going to go find my own frequency match people. We're not matching, right? Frequencies. So we don't want to wish harm to anyone, but we also don't want to be phony. We want to be authentic.
Right. Love and
really.
light. They talked a lot about that. About how
it's so important these days, because when somebody hurts us, okay, mirror, mirror, mirror. Everybody says mirror, mirror. We know that already. That's easy. It's about, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to leave the door open? If that person decides to come back to you and make amends, you should honor that gracefully, because that would be what who would do. And even if you were source creator yourself, would you say, no, I'm not going to take your apology? That's ego talking. We got to deflate and get rid of the ego so that we're humble, so we can hear the word of God. We can feel the word of God, and we can get busy with our mission. And so the compassion video, number 4, and then right after that are 2 pieces of discernment, because they get a little long. If I don't like to go too long, but sometimes it's inappropriate to split it into pieces just because people are in a hurry. They got. We're not going to put spirituality in a soundbite. I can do it to attract new people to the channel, but the way it's really going right now is that if people like what they see or feel or look at something, then they go with that. It's attraction, not promotion. I am not promoting this. I'm not hashtagging it. I'm going to let the energies do what they're supposed to do in an organic sort of a way.
And they're
Rather
coming in.
than
That's
artificial.
the length. That's the length. I mean, I know there are some times when I'm channeling that there's little breaks in between what comes in, and it kind of elongates it a little bit. But yeah, they're channeling. I mean, they're giving me messages that are like 12, 15 minutes long, sometimes a little bit longer. And that's
And
what's coming through.
it is. If you like the topic or you like the series, then you listen to it when you're, like going to sleep, or you got to get ready, or you're driving a car, or you want to sit and watch a video. What am I doing? Or you want to sit there and hold your dog and like, I'm tired. Let me watch something that means something, and then watch something that is on this channel. Each video has depth and richness and emotion and beauty and love and learning. I mean,
Well,
this is all about
hopefully,
your ascension.
people will resonate with what the Protectorate is bringing through,
Oh, they
and
will.
with my voice, with my voice that's on it. There'll be coding that's in it that people can start picking up, and they'll get the light coding that'll come through.
Right.
And
Each of us carries a different frequency.
yeah,
Jeremiah, wait till you hear his voice when I do the effects with, oh my goodness, because listen to Anita, how she sounds on compassion and discernment. Each time she's aligning more. Now it's moving very smoothly because you get a little, the first ones are a little rusty, not hers, but I'm saying
it's kind of like, you're getting the channel, you're fine tuning it a little bit, Yeah, it is true. But it's interesting because Channel OG was saying that, she had a question about having flashes of white light in the corners of your eyes. Does it mean that your spiritual eye is opening and you are ascending, black floaters, and cloudy vision too? So, from my experience, I'll just say from my experience, this is just from what I know. Out of the corners of your eyes, when I see stuff, it's like you're starting to see things beyond the third dimension or outside of the illusion. And you'll see that. I've actually had experiences where things start to shimmer and almost like, remember back in the days when the TV used to go into the white noise and it was all fuzzy, not quite as, a lot more translucent than that, but almost like I can see energy moving. And I had an experience one day where I was sitting in the sun, just soaking up the sunlight. And all of a sudden, because I had started it probably about 6 months ago, starting to see the gridding. I was actually starting to see the matrix, like the matrix gridding of different frequencies. And a lot of it was coming through my third eye. But one day I was looking around and I realized that things were shimmering. I was seeing the sacred geometry in the numbers that were in the garage, that were in the plants, everything. I looked around, all of a sudden I was actually seeing the numbers of it all, the equations, the geometry of how it was put together. It happened for like 10 minutes, and it was just like, what is going on? This is crazy. And it just let me see that creation moment where everything is that perfect, I don't know what you would call it, perfect equation, that everything is numbers, everything is energy, and everything goes down to like the smallest little particles, and you can see it.
well,
And
that's what.
so,
Yeah, and the Jesus letters. I don't know if anybody's read the Jesus letters. Used to have them up on my website, but I took them down because I don't know. We were going in a different direction now. Now we're here, so we know where we are. But they talked about how you can look at the object from the subatomic level, and you can actually manipulate it. And that's how Jesus worked, the miracles, because it had to do with that sort of ability to slow it down because it's vibration. It's energetics, really. It's electromagnetics, looking at the structure of the form, and
Yes.
then looking, and then changing the way it was arranged. That's how he was able to heal, remove that blockage, because it's density. He was able to, and if you practice, if you notice, right, when you create a pattern, the first pattern takes a little longer to make because it's new. It takes time for me to begin the first video in a new series, right? Then after I get it cranking, then I can bang them out because it's already structured. Then I know I have a format. I got the music already. Everything's ready. So you've got the pattern, and there's speed along with that, light speed. Okay, but when you're first creating it, you got to slow down a little bit so you can sort of like design it, and then once it's designed, then you can repeat or utilize it. So I mean, it's creative, it's creation. That's how creative things are happening. So I like to slow down during my creative process, and that's what Jesus was doing when he was healing. He was like, all right, let's slow these guys down here. But he was doing it, it was like Superman, because those are superpowers. That's what superpower is. It's stepping
Well,
into your true divinity. You already
absolutely.
have it.
And we have an etheric blueprint. So our bodies, everything has been blueprinted. Everything gets blueprinted before it comes into form. It kind of gets like calibrated and then blueprinted and then put into form. And so one of the things that's happening, a lot of it for us is happening at night when we're sleeping, but sometimes when you start to work more consciously, it can be happening during the daylight too. When you're bringing in the light codes and you're bringing in help and you're asking for it, you'll have other energies that are coming in that are helping you recalibrate your etheric blueprint to basically fix, phrase, because of the toxicity and other things like that that have gotten in the way, some of the genetic, DNA genetic damage that has been done. You can go back and actually fix the blueprint, or you can upgrade it with light as well, upgrading and fixing. And so a lot of that is happening. Sometimes you're going to feel that energetically. Sometimes you'll actually feel it in your body. You'll have a recalibration in your body, and it'll feel. Sometimes you'll feel like you're all of a sudden you're sinusy, or you're coughing, or you'll just have some kind of physical weirdness that kind of happens, and you're kind of like, I'm not sick, but I don't feel quite right. And sometimes that's because the blueprint is kind of in the process of kind of recalibrating and like fitting back into the body, and the body kind of restructures with that. But the energies are really intense right now, and so a lot of the work that we're doing is just accelerated, and our blueprints are getting really ramped up in upgrading, and our bodies are changing from carbon based to crystalline based. And that's also part of what's happening with our blueprints and our bodies. And so some of you may be really finding that your bones, it happens in the bones sort of first, is where the crystallization sort of happens. It's almost like the factory, and then it happens throughout all the cells. So if you find that you're kind of having issues with your bones, or your bones feel funny, it may be that you're actually being able to tune in to that transmutation from the crystalline, from the carbon to the crystalline. But it's really, really intense.
Well, I want to just jump in here because Maribel, a few people are talking about some of the different series. So the Pleiadian Master Teachings and the Pleiadian Healing meditations came in at the end of December, and then because I dropped some density with my gallbladder, I tuned in as a healing student. I mean, of course, when I made the videos, I was receiving the information on one level, but I actually used it to heal myself, my digestive system. And I felt like, oh my goodness, did they do this like particularly for me? Because it was so specific to what was going on with my body. And it was very personal because of some other guidance that Anita was giving a guy. She's been my personal, a gift to me with the personal counseling and development and shifting through all of this last ditch density. I don't know. I think I'm pretty, it's always a work in progress, of course, but
Mhm.
we've done some really, really significant work in the last month. So, you
Yeah.
know, someone mentioned about, I'm sorry, guys, I really am getting tired. I don't want to walk away with not sharing about. Someone asked, oh, what was it? Friend, I'm sorry.
What
Someone
do you
was asking not about the Pleiadian master teachings, but the healings. Somebody said they were doing the healings. I find them extremely relaxing. And then if you fall asleep while they're playing with your headphones, of course they're still doing the work. Call in a team to help you. Anita has miscellaneous, galactics that she calls in. For me, I keep going back to the Pleiadians or to I need to experience what I've been directed to put up there because it's like
that
first person, they're like using me as an example right now that like,
those
okay, you
Palladian,
can do
those
this.
Palladian meditations, a friend of mine, Allie,
Amazing.
was the one who told me about them. I was like, oh my gosh, I love these. And then I shared them with you, and I shared them with everybody that I knew that wanted them because I just loved them. And it was so helpful because I have a lot of digestive issues. Like I stopped being able to eat meat and certain things I can't digest anymore. And it's all because of two things, channeling and also the crystal body changeover. You just start, your body's changing, and all of a sudden things you could eat before you're not really able to eat anymore. And it just your body kind of lets you know what's going to work for you and what isn't. And it's not to mean everybody's going to become vegetarian, but some people will find that that works better for them than than eating meat or whatever. But the Palladian meditations were so helpful for me because of it helped with the digestion and one helped with the bones. There's
Not
the last one had all the light language that pulled in all of this intense energy to help upgrade. So I just love them. I think they were amazing. I was so glad
So
you put it on the channel.
I have sea salt here. Now I'm having a situation occurring on camera here right now, so you can share with the audience what. And use me as an example, Anita, because honestly, I'm going to fall down. I'll put some salt in my mouth and have some water. This is sea salt. I'm healing my body with sea salt and all kinds of blessed. I pray over the water. It's too much
Mhm.
for me to artificially use the crystal healing wand. Somebody gifted me with a quantum crystal healing wand. I was using that. You gotta like sit there and blow dry your water for 15 minutes. I'm like, I don't have time for that. I gotta like make it happen now. So the sea salt, please let the audience know this is such an amazing
Yeah, the sea salt, you can do
trick.
Himalayan salt, but the sea salt has even more. It has
Oh,
almost all of it has all of the a lot of the nutrients, the cell salts that and minerals that your body needs. And what you can do is you can put it under your tongue and let it get absorbed right into your blood system, and then drink water, drink blessed water, vital, real, live water. And it opens up all of your cells to bring in the hydration of the water. But it also gives you back vital nutrients that we don't necessarily get because of the toxicity of our world and how our food isn't really as nutritious as it could be.
yeah.
And so they help, and you've been finding that it's been a very dramatic difference in how you feel with having the cell salts.
Oh my gosh, I was
Well,
falling down from stumbling around. Yes, I've had a lot of weight loss. Okay, fine. So good.
mhm.
Good, finally.
It helps support your
Yeah,
it helps support your at the cellular level. You're supported with the salts.
well, what it does is it conducts electricity. So
Well,
immediately your frequency, your that's what they said. Who came in and told you that? Was that the
I had read
experience?
about it too, but yeah,
Somebody
I
said
stuff I read about.
Andromedans told you.
And then the
When you're
Andromedans did tell me that I needed to make sure I was doing it. Yeah. because what happens is if you're depleting yourself of salts and you don't have enough, then you're not able to maintain the full electrical current in your body. And so the salts help you do that at the cellular level. It's all
Yeah.
integrated. It's all integrated. It's all about frequency. It's all about frequency. Yeah.
And it's organic. Again.
So
All right, let's try this home with the
and
organic stuff.
where do you get live water? Well, this is how I do it. I call in the Arcturians because they're really big with doing helping us with water. And it's all intention. You basically, and you can go out on the internet, you can look at what studies they've done with water being holding memory in water and being liquid crystal and how it holds energy. But basically, you just send love and light.
Love
You
and
just
light.
love and light. I love you. Yeah. Send love and light to your water.
No BS, or it won't work.
Bring down divine. You can call in the Arcturians, say, please help bring and structure the water. Structured water is also what's around our DNA. And structured water means that it is holding a specific crystalline structure that is supporting the DNA. And so we have this throughout our body. And so you just can do it with intention, and you can just, bring it down, throw it into water. If you happen to be able to do light language, you can just send light language into it as well. And I do that too. I'll just bring down whatever. I said, whatever I need, bring it in. I love this water. And I'll have like my little water glass, my little like water, container. And I'll be like, I love you. I love you, to send love into the water. I love you. Water. They did this study where they had water that they told, like, I love you, and sent love messages to it. And then they were telling the water, you're stupid, you're awful, like all this terrible criticism. And then when they studied the water crystallizing, the water that was loved had these beautiful, symmetrical, beautiful crystallizations.
Geometry.
It was all sacred geometry and beautiful. And the water that had been criticized,
it was abused.
It was abused. Water had been verbally abused. The verbally abused water did not hold any real form of structure. It was very distorted.
Fractured. It was fractured.
Yeah. So
and it makes so much sense.
It's all through your heart, and it's all with intention. But bless your food, bless your water, bless anything you're drinking, anything you're putting into your body. Really makes a difference. Yeah.
Gratitude. It changes the frequency, and
really, Dr. Emoto, that's it. Yep, he's the one who did it.
Yeah. I'm sorry I've been so negligent with the chat. You have to understand. I'm like falling down tired. Although I am feeling better now. But if there's any sort of urgent question, please retype it right now at the bottom so we can at least answer, because I love you guys, and I just wanted to reconnect because it was like, where is she? She said she was going to put a video up, and meanwhile I wasn't able to sit at the computer. I still have staples in my tummy button. It's like to have steel in your belly button. It's like not that comfortable. Although right now it's okay. So, I am going to be getting to these series. I think they're going to finally let me relax a little bit and sort of just, do what I love to do. Although I donated driving services tomorrow to my local community because there was a death here. And I do it by, it's sort of like a hobby, Uber. I do a lot of different things. I really wear a lot of different hats, but I enjoy doing it. And so there's an elderly community here that I'm going to be shuttling around tomorrow afternoon. So I may not be working on the videos in the afternoon, but I love working at night and through the night because that's quiet time. And my dog is asleep at that time, and I hear pug snores. And I love creating videos while Coco's snoring. I love her so much. She's such a good girl.
Well, what I can do is the Protectorate has some light codes to offer to the audience, and they may have a message come through. Do you want to do that?
Let's do it. I was hoping for that. Okay.
So we'll start with the light codes just to give people that energy before I bring in a message. So here's some light language for you. If it resonates, I hope it does. And if it doesn't, then just, let it
Hang
be.
on. Wait for the message. Those were some activations to help people kind of, they're showing me like turning on Christmas lights for your etheric blueprint. So it's as if bringing down specific coding into your etheric blueprint, and it was just showing me like turning it on like a Christmas, Christmas lights. So that's what that was. Beautiful.
Okay, so the Protectorate is here, and it's probably going to start off as me translating, and then it'll kind of like go into a voice channel. Okay, so dearest ones, greetings from the Protectorate Council of Light. We are here to say blessings and peace to all of you who have taken the time out of time to be here with us today. The message that we would give to you very, very briefly, for we know that we often go on and on in our messages to you, Evu has said, and we know that you have been speaking today for quite a while. Our messages to you will be short and sweet. 1, you are our guardians and we love you. And it's very important for you to internalize the fact that you are loved by the entire universe. Every atom within the universe loves you and supports everything that you're doing. And anything and everything you're doing is exactly what needs to happen. The self-criticism, we would say, is one in which we hope that you will pull back from that. Someone Anita saw in the group doing mirror work. Very good. Very good. Loving oneself, knowing that you are loved is so important. And we say yes. Every day, bring us into your heart and know that you are loved. We support you in all of your mission, and we ask you to bring us into your daily life so that we can be as supportive as possible and network outside of you to help you with what you're doing. The guardian role is not the easy mission. It is the light worker warrior role. Many of you have chosen to do that within a lifetime in which you have brought forward many traumas, many, 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 many difficult situations. This happens for many reasons on a personal level, but also because as guardians, you are here to help to protect. You are here for the entire collective. And the work you're doing helps relieve the trauma, the suffering of the full collective. And for this, we say thank you. It is through all of this work that the veil will be lifted. This is why you are here. And we wish to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all of your work. You are blessed, blessed souls, part of a huge family that truly loves everything about you. So know that you are doing exactly what needs to be done. and that you are supported by the entire universe. The Protectorate Council of Light is going now, and we say thank you. So that was the Protectorate.
Oh my goodness. I was hoping to give us a little something, and I appreciate. So, comments. Let me see. Grateful, gratitude. Thank you. That's all beautiful, everybody. So, look, honestly, come back into, if there's a, come onto the community board where I posted the advertisement and add questions because I'm just exhausted tonight for sure. And or get an email, info@wingsoflight.net. You can send a private email. I'll make sure that Anita gets the information and will return an answer to you. For anybody I ignored or I didn't ignore you, okay, I'm like, dog, this, that. I'm beyond exhausted right now.
Well, it gives people an opportunity to think about it too, and so that you can
write in because I think that we can still, come up with some new appearances like this. Maybe not as long. We'll do something, half hour, 45 minutes, or an hour. And with some kind of a weekly or, as things progress, because things have been so rapid. It's easier to sit down and have a conversation with you guys than, other ways. So we can give you an update, at least, so you know what's going on with me, because it was like a month where I was like, I'm in turmoil. It was complete turmoil.
Just important that everybody stays hydrated, that you support yourself, that the whole, like what the Protectorate was talking about with self-criticism, that we start really moving ourselves into that self-love, working from our heart, all those things that sometimes we can, have a hard time doing when we get caught up in 3D. But there's so much that's going on. And you guys are huge workers. You're doing huge work at night. You're doing conscious work during the day. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much for allowing our energies to blend, for listening, for being here. So thank you.
Okay. All right, girls, boys, doggies, other animals, whatever's out there. We will do this again very soon. And yes, there will be videos now coming. I think they're going to let me do a few, right? I just want to sit in front of my computer and do a video. Please. Hopefully things will slow down around here. So love you all. I'm going to end the broadcast now. Don't forget to write in. We'd love to hear from you. Send emails. All right. Love you guys. Love and light. Love, light, and lions. Love, light, and lions.
I like that. Love, light, and lions.
Yeah, new coding. All right. See you guys soon. Love you. I'm going to sign off now. Bye-bye.